Hit us with your song.
This is probably the first one that I ever came up with, and it's the morning song.
Okay.
Uh, it's normally he wakes me up. Sometimes I gotta wake him up, and it goes like this: Good morning, Larry. How are you doing? Don't you know that you're the best? It's good to see you. Scratch on your walnut head, and then I scratch on your chest. I hope you slept good. I know that I did, 'cause I slept next to you. Oh yeah. Let's take a walk outside. I'll drink coffee, and you can squeeze out a poo. There you go.
Okay, so we've talked about an abundance of different things here today. I don't know if there's anything that
Yes.
we missed, but one thing I would love to know is what would it take for you to get back into a wrestling ring? What
Oh
are like
God.
what's like your ideal situation? It needs to happen. There's no like it has to.
What would it take? Oh gosh. Without wanting to insult anybody on either side of the fence, any WWE talent or AEW talent, it would take, um, above all, an interesting scenario, a story that would be fun to tell. Um, the I'll play devil's advocate. Uh, Also, just the stupidest amount of money.
Hell
So that's
yeah.
one thing. So if they're like, hey, we have no idea for you, and we're probably gonna put you through the same stupid we did before, where the creative's gonna stink and it's not gonna be fun, but here's $100 million. You got to look at that and you got to go, risk
Of
versus
course.
reward. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, but they could save themselves a whole lot of money if they just presented, just like a fun storyline. Now, what that is, I don't know. I'm a pretty picky guy, especially at this point. Think of it like an actor who has done all the Shakespeare roles. He's played Jesus. He's been a World War II hero. He's been a Nazi. He's been in space. He's done every single role you could possibly do. Like, what's the role that's going to interest them? And I don't know what that is. It's not my job to even come up with it. I think there's more interesting people on the AEW side of things for me to wrestle, but that's just because I've never wrestled them before.
Right.
Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. Um, Talking about your husband, like I look at that and I go, well, I wrestled him already,
Mhm.
so it's just less interesting than something new. Um, and on the WWE side of things, I don't know that there's anybody there currently that I haven't wrestled that I would be interested in wrestling.
Would you have ever wanted to wrestle Joe in WWE?
Yeah, but what are we doing? Are we just having a wrestling match? The Ring of Honor stuff we did was like a labor of love. You know what I mean? Because you had all the creative input and coming up with that, and it was really just we're backed against the wall, and Joe had beat everybody already. So it was like, well, what do you do? Well, I'm the next opponent, and if he just beats me, what do we do? And then, at that time, I was obsessed with 60-minute draws, and Harley Race was one of my mentors, and I would pick his brain all the time about doing 60 minutes. And um it just turned into, well, why don't we go 60, and then you're still the champ and you haven't beat me, so maybe that's something we can play off in the future. And we did.
Okay, so that's still a to be determined. Either a
you
ton
think
of
you did
money
you
or a
think there
great
was going to be a
story.
did you I feel like bag even saying that ton of money thing, but that's just like, you
It's
know
I
uh,
don't think there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong
well,
with saying that at all.
on the WWE side of things, is like, let's be honest,
Of
there's baggage, right?
of
There's
course.
stuff that's got to be worked through. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't even know. I don't know how you get there. I don't. I really don't. I understand Roman's doing awesome things now, which is great. Um, but other than outside of him, what's the interesting thing that I could do there? I
You should
really
go
don't. I
wrestle
don't know.
Asuka. That'd be
I
awesome.
don't know. Okay. I don't think they would allow that, but you know,
Yeah, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm trying to interest you. I don't know.
but that opens up all kinds of possibilities. I'll go dump Pam on her head.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Get her ass.
if we're wrestling women, yeah, we dump Pam on her head. Absolutely. I'll have
um,
to sleep on the couch, but yeah,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
might be
Yeah, you
worth it.
gotta be careful of that AJ Pam relationship. And what about New Japan? Is that something that you'd ever look into
Oh,
dabbling in again?
that's I mean I don't know why I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I mean, I think there's this huge part of me that never wanted, like, the goal wasn't to be a WWE superstar. You know what I mean? I was content with wrestling in Japan. But Japan was a lot different when I went over there, you know, and I got told by Hashimoto as he was paying me was you know, good worker, too big for cruiserweight, too small for heavyweight. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, all right, that sucks. Thanks a lot. Thanks to whatever. Um, but yeah, things are different now, and I do think there's guys in New Japan. I think Okada, but even saying that is like I haven't really seen a lot of his stuff. I apologize profusely, Okada-san. Uh, you know, one of these days, maybe I'll get around to it. Maybe I'm gonna get on the treadmill and I'll watch
There you
some of your
go.
stuff right now. But I just think,
What about like a Zack Saber Jr.?
um, yeah, maybe, but that's not a name that I would have said.
Okay.
But it's possible. Again, haven't seen a lot of his stuff. I know he does the holds and the wacky submissions and stuff like that. But I just sound like the old guy who doesn't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
It's all
Uh,
right.
Everyone else is going to have to tweet the both of us and come up with better ideas, you know,
Okay.
than I got right now. But you know, obviously, like I said, I look at the Roman thing, and I know he's talked about me, which I find
Well, he's got the Heyman situation too, which makes it
hilarious,
a little juicier.
hilariously interesting. I'll dump him on his head too. Um, lift him
Uh,
up.
done.
um, yeah, I mean, other than that, I know Drew McIntyre is doing really well. Um, but there's nothing spicy there to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe not. Don't yell at me, internet. Um,
Yeah. Everyone on the internet,
no,
please be cool. For the
it's not
love
gonna
of
happen.
God. For the
It's not
love
gonna
of
happen.
God. Well,
Sorry about
so the way that I'm interpreting this is that you're open to perhaps a line of communication.
I thought I've always said that. You know, maybe not in the first couple of years where you know, but I, it's just like Lorenzo and Dana being like, "Hey, would you ever want to do this?" And me going, "What?" Like
Yeah.
that didn't mean I put gloves on and I jumped in the cage that instant. Like it was a process, you know. And you know, great Batman villain said, "If you're good at something, you never do it for free." Not that I'm looking for a job. I'm actually looking to do a ton of acting. So
Yes.
yeah. But you ask the questions and I give you the answers.
Yeah.
That's how this podcast works.
Hi, guys. To stay in on the know on all things oral sessions, please like, subscribe, share. Pass off the word to your mother, your father, a friend, a grandfather, a grandmother, somebody at the grocery store, whoever you want. Keep spreading the good word. Please help to support your girl and subscribe. Just hit the button. Just hit the button and subscribe to Oral Sessions.